Hi there, this is Tammy with Tammy's Crafty Life. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you like what you see and you'll return. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you like the video, please click on the like and subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when I film new videos. My videos these days are primarily about cross stitch. I do all kinds of crafts, but it's been quite a while since I've done anything but cross stitch. Today is to finish my WIP parade. I started it last month sometime. I've done 2 videos, partial WIP parades, and today I'm going to finish it. As of this morning, I have a total of 64 WIPs, which I know is a lot. And going through them all, there's so many that I want to work on, but I have the problem of my favorite thing to do is start new projects, and I just keep starting them. And then I have all these that I really want to do, but you can only work on one thing at a time. So I've got to figure out something. We'll see how that goes. There is one I do need to finish. I need to work on the flamingo. I haven't touched it for quite a while, and I need to have it done by the end of December. So I need to get working on that. But I also have all these other things I want to do. And if I spend too much time on one that I'm not really enjoying, then it becomes a chore, and then I don't want to do anything. So I got to figure out a balance for that. So I'm going to start with the things I've worked on since my last regular video. Last week I did a tutorial video. So I'll show you the things I've worked on in the last 2 weeks. The first thing is Primrose Cottage Stitches Deck the Halls. This is very cute. I'm stitching it on 18 count white Aida, and I would like to finish it on one of Chantel's ornaments from the ornament box. I'm not sure if it's going to come out small enough or not. It is like the height is going to be from here to here, so it might not work. I might have to do it a different way, but this is it, and it's fun to stitch. It's only got a few colors and I'm enjoying it. The next one, sorry, I have stuff everywhere. This one I just started yesterday. This is called Joy, and it was a free pattern last year from Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. It's one color. This one I know will fit on one of my ornaments from the ornament box. And I am doing this, sorry, that's my dog. I don't know what's going on. I am stitching this on a 32 count lavender Lugana. And this is where I am so far. The floss is Evil Queen by Bestitch Me. There's also fabric that's the same. I don't know why the light keeps coming and going. I wish it would just show what it is and not try to adjust. But so I'm like halfway done, I think. And so I might finish this today. If not today, probably tomorrow. And I'm really loving stitching that, and it's nice that it's only one strand, and I am stitching it one square at a time so that I'll get the maximum variegation. The next thing I worked on, which is actually a finish, I fell in love with these Waxing Moon Designs Christmas Littles. There's 6 of them, but I stitched one. I stitched the little fox. It's called Christmas Fox, and I think he's adorable. And I know that he will fit on one of those ornaments. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch any of the others. There's a couple others I would like to, but I have other things I want to work on, so I don't know. The next thing, I can't find my picture, which is very annoying. This is from Christmas Club 4 2021 by Shannon Christine Designs. And this one says joyful, be joyful. So there's white and light blue up here I need to finish. And then it'll be done. Oh, white snowflakes kind of around the edges. I used this one last week to film my beading video. So I have finished everything except for the word be, and then there's snowflakes. So it's all just white is what I have left. And that will be fun. And I'm waiting to get back the other 2 that I sent to Chantel, and she showed on a couple of her videos. And I will finish this in a similar fashion, but probably change the colors up a little bit. The other thing I have worked on in the last 2 weeks, I'm working on Well Hello There by Hands On Design, and I'm working on December right now. I already finished November. Oop. December is right here. And this is one I work on just once in a while, so I'm not really far. This is 16 count pale gray gingham by, well, it's from Fat Quarter Shop. I don't remember who it's by. Fabric Flair, it says that right there. Ada. And then there is a project I've been wanting to start for a long time. And a shop in New England actually converted the colors for me. This is a Tisket a Tasket. And they converted the blues to purples. So I finally started this. I don't have a real big start, but I do have a start. This is, oh, what's the name of this? The color of this fabric is, I can't remember. Well, that's gonna bug me. It's a really pretty fabric. It's a green fabric. And this is a dark, dark purple. So it's kind of hard to tell that it's purple right now, but once I get more going, you'll be able to see that. So that was my start. I didn't get real far. And then the other thing I've been working on that you guys have seen several times, at least a few times, is Colorful Cats. The acorn pattern that was designed for Acorns and Threads in Portland. And here it is. I am loving stitching on this, which is interesting because there's no color, it's all neutrals, but I am loving this pattern. And this is where I am on this. Working on one side of the face, and I was working a little bit in the nose, and then I went up here, kind of jumping around. I think I want to finish all of this, then maybe this, and then do the other side, and then go to the top, because the Q-snap I'm using, it won't fit all together, and I really like this size. This is 8 by 11. I could put it in an 11 by 11 and then have it all together, so I might do that before I'm done, but I have a lot of area to cover before I need to go taller. So that is Colorful Cats Acorn by Kitty and Me Designs, who is Pamela Kellogg. Another thing that I've been working on, this is a new start. I have mentioned before I have a group of stitchy friends that I know only online. And they had asked if I'd ever stitched a strawberry. And I haven't, so I thought I would. So I purchased this. This is Erica Michaels. It's called English Sampler Berries. And I'm starting with this one because it's animals, and all of us in this group love animals. This will be my first strawberry. Just looking at it, they're really easy to finish. I have just a small start. I started right in the middle. And this is 32 count Lugana, and it's from Fat Quarter Shop, but it's got the little white splotches on it. This was the only 32 count I had that was a neutral enough fabric for what I wanted to do. So that's English Sampler Berries. And I think that's everything I've worked on in the last 2 weeks, which is quite a few different patterns. I've spent most of my time on the Christmas Club Christmas ornament, trying to finish that, and the Colorful Cats. And then yesterday I picked up the Joy ornament and started it. And I just started that yesterday, and you can see that I'm already halfway done, so I should be able to finish that. So let me move on from there. These are all WIPs that you have seen probably at some point, but it's been a while for most of them. The first one I'll show you is Stitchy Stars. This is by Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet. I started this summer of 2021. I didn't get very far. I should find something. I need to find something. Find something to put behind these things. So this is how far I am on this one. This is a 28 count even weave. There's some white, quite a bit of white on there too. It's hard to see. Just a Hobby Lobby light blue even weave. So that is Stitchy Stars. And the next one that I have out is the Stony Creek Believe Snow Friends banner. I haven't worked on this for a while. I showed it to you guys when I started on it. I worked on it just a few days and got pretty far. So that's how far I am. These ones that I'm showing you that are Christmas are ones that I want to pull out and work on in November and December, in addition to whatever new things I'm wanting to start, which is kind of scary. I'll find my next pile. Okay. For a couple of videos, is that what you are? Yes. A couple of videos. Well, both of my WIP parades I've already done. I kept starting to show you these two cat pictures, and I didn't have a color picture. And they're from this book, Cats Galore by Leisure Arts. It has, I think it says 66 different pictures in it. So, oops, don't look at that. This is one of them. They're stitched on an Afghan, and I'm not doing that, but it's 5 cats in a row. Funny thing about all of these patterns, none of them have a name, so I just had to name it myself, and that's 5 cats in a row. And I just have this tiny, tiny little start, like 10 stitches. So I need to get that out and be working on it. And check out this needle minder. I don't know, I must have got, oh, I did from the fabric, I can tell. This must have come from Hobby Lobby. Is that cute? It's a needle minder. It's not actually scissors. It's only that tall. So I thought that was fun. And the other one out of this book is this one. So I call this Cats in the Garden. So I've been working on this one. Well, I haven't touched it for a while. But as with all the rest, I do need to get it out and work on it. So this is that one. I can't see if you can see it, but it is not as far along as I thought it was when I first got it out. When I first went back to cross stitch, it was missing. I couldn't find it anywhere. And it ended up from the weirdest spot. It was really strange. Next one that you have seen not too long ago, I think, is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and it is Love on a Limb. And this is it. This is a downloaded pattern. I worked on it to get as far as finishing the owls. So it's another one. I need to get it out and finish. What I have left is all of the tree stuff, but it's not really that much. It's this and this. I've already done this. So all of these, I just need to get them out and do them. But like I said, I can only do one thing at a time. So a little bit frustrating. The next one is, I have this bag, that quarter shop bag, that I put all of my patriotic patterns in. Lindsay with Primrose Cottage Stitches challenged people to work on flags for the next year. So as I buy patterns, I stick them in that bag, and it's getting pretty fat. I had already started this one before she did the challenge. This is Red, White, and Blue by Shannon Christine. I really like this. This is a download also. And I didn't get too far. This fabric is, where is it? Oh, it's 18 count, iridescent. I didn't find my thing that says where it's from, but this is how far I am. I got the barn done and started on one of the starbursts on the right, the fireworks. I don't like stitching on opalescent because the opalescent part gets in the way, which is interesting. But I did enjoy stitching that barn. The next one is a stitch along that was by Satsuma Street, the Animal House. It finished a few months ago, and I've downloaded but not printed the rest. I had done all of the first two, and I've started the third piece. This was a lot of fun to stitch, and it's another one that other stuff just got in my way. So let me pull this up so you can see it. This is where I am on this one. Right here is the start of the third piece. This one's very colorful. I like things that are bright and colorful, so it was really fun to stitch on too. It's on 28 count Lugana, mushroom Lugana. The next one is by Artisy Cross Stitch. This is a full coverage piece, and it's called Humility. I think this is just beautiful. I haven't decided yet. Their instructions include a smaller version that crops it some. I like the whole thing, but it is really big. And I'm stitching it on 18 count easy grid fabric. So it will be, if I do the whole thing, it'll be 17 wide by 12.5 inches. And so I haven't decided yet, and I don't have to decide yet. I have a tiny little start on this one too. This is on a really long scroll frame so that it all fits on here. And that's my start. This needle minder was given to me by my friend Suzanne in Florida. She is Crafty Sue 519, and it was for this particular picture. Thank you, Suzanne. I love it. Every time I pull this out, which I haven't pulled it out that many times, but every time I do, I think of you. Let's see, next up is piles and piles. Next up is over here. I have a chatelaine that Martina Rosenberg designs chatelaines, and this is the Holland Springtime Garden Mandala. Not a very big picture. The finished picture is huge, but each of these little spots has a different picture in it, but otherwise the whole thing is a mandala where all 4 sections are the same. I started this on January 1st, and it's my first chatelaine. I find places to put things, and I'm gonna love it. It is being stitched on 32 count 32 count Jobelan fabric that is called HD Summer Sky is the color name. And here is my tiny little start. This is 1 day of stitching, and it's stitched 2 over 2. This one these have a lot of beads. I don't know if they have many specialty stitches, but the chatelaines have a lot of beads in them. So this one is going to be, it's going to be fun to stitch, and I need to work on it just like all the others. I need to quit saying that. I will try to quit repeating myself. The next one is Comet Reindeer Gnome. This was one I found online. It's charted by BDLXXX Stitch. It's a tiny little picture, but I thought he was cute. It's been quite a while since I've worked on him, and it doesn't look like much because it's pretty much all one color. I thought it was farther, but that's all I've got. That's a couple of colors, and I have this cute little hedgehog needle minder from the Fat Quarter Shop. This pink fabric I dyed myself just for this because I wanted to put him on pink. And the next one is Spring Rejoice. This is from one of the Stony Creek magazines. This one is a lot of fun. This is before I kind of changed my style of stitching. So if I were to start this over now, I might make these in separate pieces, but I started it all together. And I have this part done, and then I had started over here. This fabric is 14 count Aida, and it's called Vintage Blue Whisper. And there's my little start. working over here. This one's all done. I really like this also. I think it's beautiful. I have piles all around me that I have to be careful because if I bump my desk, there'll be an avalanche. Next is the Rose Farm by Shannon Christine Designs. This one I started doing because I saw Heather North doing it on her Flosstube channel. She actually, on her most recent video, she finished it. I'm still working way up here. I have a tiny little start. I dyed a blue fabric to stitch it on. And this is 18 count blue. So I did part of the frame, and then this is the quilt. That's how far I got. Another one that was fun to stitch, and I love it. Although, so I have a couple pictures I've put on these 11 by 17 Q snaps. This is kind of big for me, so I might need to switch them to something smaller. It's awkward to hold and actually be able to reach it for stitching. Next is a Little Dove Designs project, and this one I saw on Brenda, the Handwork Maniac. I saw this chart on her channel and I had to have it, and it was one that I couldn't put down for a while, and you'll see how far I got, and then I got sidetracked by something else and haven't gotten back to it yet. This is Heart of Winter by Little Dove Designs. She did ask me recently if I had seen something else they had new, and I haven't been back to their shop, so I should go check it out. I did this part right here, but I think this is really cool. I'm stitching it on 28 count even weave, and this is a fat quarter shop needle minder from last winter. So here's where I am. This was so fun to stitch, except I got tired of white. I'm finishing right in here. When I put it down, I got tired of stitching white. If I go up, I have to stitch white. If I go down, I have to stitch white. And because I'm doing 2 over 2, I won't count very far, because if I do, I'll make a mistake. So I have to stitch what's there. But I will get it out again soon because I love stitching this. And it's a winter picture, so this is a good time for that, right? Next is a picture that's actually 4 in 1, and it's by Jeanette Douglas Designs. It's called By the Sea, and it's these 4 patterns that each one is a quarter of the picture. You can stitch them alone. They have a border that'll go all the way around, or you can stitch them all together, and this kind of gives a hint. So this one is spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And I started with spring. I'm working like right there. Tiny little start. This is By the Sea on 32 count French lace linen, which is a very, very, very pale green. And I have a very tiny, tiny, tiny start on this one. Can you see that right there? When I did this, I hadn't worked on 32 count before, and since then I have worked on something else 32 count, and I figured out that I do actually like it pretty well, so I will go back to that. Again, I might change this. This is on an 11 by 11 Q snap, and my favorite is 8 by 11, so I might change it. Although I'm thinking, I thought the whole thing would fit in here, so we'll see. I'm not sure. It's not one that's coming up anytime soon. We're working on. My next one is I Love My Dog Sampler by the Victoria Sampler. This one has specialty stitches in it, and it has some 1 over 1, and it's just really fun. I can't wait to get down here to the bottom. That's going to be fun. But I just have a little start in the middle. A heart as big as all outdoors, best friends throughout the years. That's my start. This is 28 count light blue even weave. It's funny, I have two different, the light blue even weave, I feel like they both came from Hobby Lobby. And one of them is kind of heavy and not really stiff, but really nice to work with. And this one is lighter and harder to stitch on because it's more limp. So that's interesting. I'm sure they both came from Hobby Lobby. I don't know where else I would have bought a 28 count even weave. Next up is January Sampler by Sugar Stitches. I think this one's really pretty. I don't like all of these. I've bought, these were on sale at Fat Quarter Shop when they had their big pattern sale. So I bought all the ones I wanted. I don't want them all. I can't remember which ones I have, but I really am enjoying this one, and it's time for it to come out too because it's winter, and maybe I could finish it in time for January. That would be cool. But probably not because I have a flamingo picture in my way. So this is how far I am. 28 count mushroom Lugana. Again, I got bogged down with white. I don't really dislike white, but when there's a lot of it, I get tired of it. I like to have variety in my stitching. I don't like a ton of color changes, but I do like variety. The next one is another winter one. This is Mousecapades by Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. This one has 7 sections, and I think she's released 6 of them. She's releasing them 2 at a time, so this was 1 and 2. And I think I've purchased, I know I've purchased 5 and 6, and I think I have 3 and 4, and 7 hadn't been released yet. I am stitching them, find some place to put that. I'm stitching them all on one, and this is 16 count Frost by Bestitch Me. And that's how far I've gotten. Again, I'm bogged down here. I'm stitching this gray. Is it gray? It's a grayish blue. And then there's a garland of lights I've got to stitch across there. So I need to finish this. It's very cute. I love Misty stuff. Next one is, I only have a couple left. This one is Sugar Cookies by the Cricket Collection. I saw this one, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She was doing it last year and I had to have it. And I've started it 3 different times. The first time it was on fabric I absolutely loved. And I looked at, this has a really weird font inside where the design area and the stitch count is, and I looked at it wrong, and I was stitching along, I had it half done, and I got to the edge of the fabric and I was running out of fabric, so I had to start over. The next fabric I started on I didn't like, so this is my 3rd fabric. This one is Sugar Cookies. This is 18 count Hot Cocoa by Bestitch Me, and it is opalescent. So all I have done is the C. And that was a fun stitch. This one will come out again someday. I got really disgusted with 3 different starts. So I finished the C and then put it away. This one is a kit by Luca S. It's called the Owls. I just think they're adorable. I love owls. So I have a tiny start on this one. Keep burying my board. This is on 18 or 16 count Ada, I don't know which. And there's my tiny start. It's one of the owls. Another Christmas one. Next one is, this one is so close to being done. Well, it needs several days, but it could be done. last year I started this stitch along with Sam, Stitch Again Sam, and it's from this book, Cross Stitch for the Earth by Emma Congdon, and it's a 4 seasons picture. So she started spring on the first day of spring, summer on the first day of summer, etc., etc. And she actually did finish hers. I don't know if she's framed it, but she did finish it. I started on the first day of summer and went that way, so I'm back over here working on spring. Excuse me. And this is on 14 count white. I should have pulled it out and ironed it because it's a mess, but it's been rolled up. So this is where I'm at. I'm over here. This white spot here, they had a spider, so when I get done, I'm putting something else in there. I love the colors. I think it's very colorful and pretty. I just need to take the time to finish this, but it won't happen this year because I have other things that are on the radar for this year. Couple left. This one is last year Fat Quarter Shop did a stitch along that was called Bats and Booze. I've only printed out the first part, and I'm stuck in this part right here. The pattern is so light because it's like an open lacy pattern, but on the pattern it's so light that I'm having a hard time. I was stitching it, I put it on my computer and was looking at it that way, and I was still having trouble. I don't know a way to darken this. I started writing on the pattern so I could see where the X's were. Because it's an open weave, I kept making mistakes. So I put it down. This is Bats and Booze. 18 count Spooky Hollow by Fabric Flair. That's how far I got. I like the Spooky Hollow fabric. I think it's pretty, but that's my tiny little start. Maybe this will get done by next Halloween, so it will be a 2-year project instead of 1 year. We have 2 left. This one was a kit that the Fat Quarter Shop had exclusive to them by Little House Needleworks. It's their logo chart. It's called Love Family Home. And I thought this would be a fun one to do, although it's kind of boring, but I mean, it's a pretty picture. I don't mean the picture is boring, but for me it's not pretty bright colors, so it's been a little boring to stitch on. I loved stitching the tree. This is 18 count khaki Ada from Amazon. So I stitched the tree right away and the fence, and I'm over here working on the house. So someday I will finish that. It's a small picture, but it keeps getting bumped. I told myself one day, several months ago, it's not that big, I could just sit down and finish it. But then something else caught my eye, so I didn't. And the last one I have to share with you today, this is the end of my WIP parade. There will be more new ones to come, but this is the end. Fat Quarter Shop did a stitch along with Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. There are 9 charts. This is the quilt one. It's the one that goes in the middle, and I started in the middle. This is 16 count Ada, and it's called Peaceful Purple, and it's a pale, pale, pale purple. It looks more gray than purple. So I finished the quilt block, and then I'm doing the border that goes around it. This one's a lot of fun. I'm putting all 9 on one piece, so hopefully that'll get pulled out again one of these days. That's it. That's all of my WIPs. Primrose Cottage Stitches is starting a new stitch along with Mom, and it is the Christmas Barn, and that's starting on November 10th. So I already had this pattern, so I think I'm going to do it because I really like it. This is stitched, this barn is stitched with Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red, and it's so you can see the, sorry for the glare, you can see the variegation in it, and then all the rest is DMC. So I'm going to start that. Tomorrow I'm taking a class at Acorns and Threads in Portland, and the class is put on by Heart in Hand, and it's a chart that she made exclusively for the class, so I can't wait to work on it. It's a little house one. Looks like it's similar to her tiny towns, and I love those, so I can't wait to get started on that. So that'll be my WIP number 65. If I finish the joy ornament, I'll still be at 64, but I'm not going to stay at 64. I'm going to keep going because there are so many things I want to start, and I love to start. So although I'm out of space as far as storing my cross stitch WIPs, so I can't really start a ton more because I don't have any place to put them. So I need to finish some things one of these days, and I would like to finish several things. We'll see how that goes. That's why I started doing some littles in addition to the big pictures, the ornaments and the other things that are smaller, because then I can actually finish some things. So that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. It looks like it didn't take up too much of our time. I apologize for the dog bark at the beginning. I don't know what he saw outside, but if it is, when I watch the replay, if it's too loud, I might cut it out, but it'll cut out part of what I say, so I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. For me, this is Friday. It's the beginning of my weekend. And happy crafting. Bye for now.